Welcome and thank you for joining us for Coach's Corner. My name is George Webb, and I'm president of the Gridiron Club that supports the Dover-Sherburne football team. And I'm here today with Steve Ryan, who's head coach of the football team. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So here we are. We're standing 4-0, coming up on the midpoint of the season. We had a nice win over Dedham last week. If you take a look at the last 10 games, we're standing at 9-1. We've only lost one game spanning over the last two seasons. And the Boston Herald just gave us the ranking for Division 5, and Dover-Sherburne was rated number 3 out of all Division 5 teams. So maybe I thought you had a couple of thoughts on how you feel about the team as it's come together as we're looking at the midpoint of the season now.
Well, it's interesting you bring up that we're 9-1 in the last 10 because the only blemish we have in those 10 games is Bellingham, and we have them this week. So, this is a very important game for us. As far as the rankings go, there's not much we can do about that, so we just try to go out and play the best games we can. It's being nice being number 3 in the Herald rankings, but the power rankings just came out, 20 minutes ago, and we're 11th. So, we still have a lot of work to do.
Got it. In terms of the team coming together, coaches were always our own worst critics. We see a lot of things we'd like to clean up and improve. But has the team surprised you in any way this season? And then, looking ahead, what are some of the ththings we'd like to clean up as we get ready for the second half?
Well, I'd say, one of the strengths of our team is our ability to tackle. Those guys on defense really, they hit well, and they're great technique for tackling, and that's such a skill to have. The things we can work on is, it's the little things. Like any sport, it's the little things that really make a difference. And so, if we go out there and we do our job and do all the little things that we're supposed to do, we should have good returns.
Going back, let's take a look at the Dedham game. Nice win, tough team at home. We won 27-13, a 14-point margin of victory on that one. Can you talk a little bit about the game, how it unfolded?
They were what we thought. They're a very good defensive team. I was actually a little surprised because they had the athletes to cover our guys on the outside and made it tough passing the ball. But, we tried to keep the attack balanced. We threw when we could, and when we couldn't, we ran the ball effectively.
Final score, again, was 27-13, but it looked like it was going to be a defensive struggle. We went through the whole first quarter without a score. And I like to say we were surprised, but, from our scouting, we anticipated that it'd be a pretty tough start on the defense and maybe a little bit more of a defensive struggle.
Yeah, we had known they were better on the defensive side of the ball than the offensive side, but the whole first quarter, you go scoreless, and then it takes a great play by Johnny Bennett and Danny Sullivan to break that tie.
Let's talk about that play. We were standing right down on the sideline, so the coaches had a very good view of it. Unfortunately, the cameras couldn't get it, but that was a momentum changer in the beginning of the second half. Johnny came up. I'm not sure what kind of route. Do you remember the route we called on that one?
It was X-Pass.
It was X-Pass. Came up along the sideline and had a catch. It was almost down by his ankles and ran it in for 85-yard touchdown. Really changed the momentum of the game.
Yeah, Danny put the ball at the only place it could be. The kid was in decent coverage, but Johnny just, he caught the ball running away from the quarterback, caught the backside of the ball down near his ankles, and didn't fall down, and was able to turn on the jets and get in the end zone.
It wasn't quite a Franco Harris immaculate conception. There's only one of those. But in terms of a catch at any level, I think Johnny's catch, whether high school, college, or even the pro level, is right up there in terms of one of the all-time good grabs. We went up 7-0. Then Johnny Bennett, 3 plays later, interception, and taking it back down to the 4.
Yeah, those are the kind of momentum changes that are really important. We had gotten down to the goal line and kind of stalled, and Johnny got the ball right back for us.
And to credit to Dedham, they played a really tough game. They didn't give up. They played a full 48 minutes of football. We scored. If Osa went in, we went up 14-0. Dedham came right back down the field and made it a game again at 14-7.
Yeah, we kind of expected that of those kids. They're tough kids, and they fought right to the end.
So we were able to shift the momentum and get a couple more scores and put that game away. When you take a look at the season, Dedham probably the biggest lines, probably the toughest squad we played. They're now 2-2. They came in 2-1. What does a hard-fought win and a tough game like this do for for the team to season them up and toughen them up for the rest of the season?
It's really good for us. I believe that. To get against some big guys and show that, hey, we can play with anybody. The first few games, unfortunately, those teams didn't have the personnel that we had hoped to see, but Dedham did. They had the athletes to cover us, and they had the size on the offense and defensive line to play with us.
And so we're going to see Dedham again at some point, right?
We could possibly see them in the playoffs.
So that schedule will be coming out in a couple of weeks, right?
That'll be 4 weeks.
Okay, in 4 weeks we'll get that, so we may end up seeing them again. Let's pivot to Bellingham. Bellingham was our only loss last season, our only loss out of the last 10 games. Maybe you can talk about this year. This year's team's a little different, so maybe you can talk about that and how we scouted them out.
Yeah, I think we're prepared for what they bring. We saw what they did to us last year, and we prepared against that stuff this year. They lost a few players, but they brought back a few seniors this year too, who are very good players.
So they're standing at 2-2. I think they graduated 8 seniors from last year's squad. So a little bit different challenge this year than last.
Yeah, definitely. The quarterback's back though. And he's a very good player, very accurate thrower. So.
Can we talk about him a little bit? He's had a lot of write-up and a lot of ink over the last few weeks for pretty good quarterback play. So any thoughts about how he might defend him?
Yeah, he's a little lefty, but he plays offense, plays defense. He does everything. And I'd give a shout out to his receivers too. You never have just a quarterback without the great receivers on top of it.
So the team, I think, will be up for this game. This was a tough loss last year. We all remember it was a pretty wide margin of victory in their favor. So any thoughts on how practice has gone and how the team is going to be preparing for this game?
I thought yesterday's practice in the rain again. The kids brought energy and we were hitting hard and getting ready for it. So, the kids should be ready. I like the way we're executing right now.
4-0, 9 wins out of the last 10. Any concerns about complacency among this group?
No. We know. We see the rankings, and, we've got to get into the top 8, and we're number 11 right now, even though we're 4-0.
I knew the answer to that question before you answered it. We know our guys are ready, and they're going to be ready for Bellingham. So this one's an away game in Bellingham, 6:30 on Friday night. Big one for us, half point of the season. Looking to go 5-0. Do you have any final thoughts as we get ready for Bellingham on Friday night?
No, I'd just give a shout out to our players. 1 through 46 of them. They're working hard every single day.
12th man again. We've had really good home crowds, and the team has really appreciated it, and it does make a difference in terms of the energy that the crowd gives to the team. This is an away game, so we'd encourage everybody that's been coming to these games to make the trip out to Bellingham to support our guys. If we end up 5-0 at the end of the day, pretty good first half of the season, and then we'll focus on the rest of the division games and look toward the playoffs. Any final thoughts as we wrap?
I think we're good, George. Thanks.
All right. Thanks again, Steve. And thanks for joining. Hi, my name is George Webb, and I'm president of the Gridiron Club for the Dover-Sherburne Football Raiders varsity football program. We'd like to thank all of you for the sponsorship and donations to the endowment. The program sponsors and picks up a lot of the budget items that the Dover-Sherburne school system is not able to provide for our football team. We pick up additional coaching, training, and team events for the athletes so that they can continue to have all the resources they need to have a successful and winning football program. Again, we've had winning seasons, 5 out of the last 6 seasons. A good part of that has been contributed to and supported by the community and the endowment that supports the program. If you'd like to continue to contribute to the endowment, we'd encourage you to go to the DoverSherburneGridiron.com. There's a link there, and we welcome your contribution. It's a 501c3 organization, not-for-profit, supporting the team. We also benefit from gate receipts. So coming out and supporting your team on Friday nights when we have home games is really important to help support the endowment, but it's even more important to support the athletes. The kids work very hard, and again, they're coming up on the potential for a fourth winning season in a row. So we've been in town for a long time, and it's been a while since we've had a team that's been this successful. So again, thank you for your support, and please continue to support the Dover Sherburne Gridiron Club. My name is George Webb, and I'm here with Willie Bowen. Willie, maybe you can tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and what position you play.
I'm a senior here at DS, and I play D-end.
How many years have you been in the program now?
I've been playing. I was in Mr. Bennett's program since 4th grade, and I've been playing all 4 years in high school.
So can you talk about that group a little bit? Coach Bennett's done a nice job with your cohort coming through from seniors through middle school. Good group of football players.
Yeah, definitely. He's really he pushed us to our limits during middle school. He really got us disciplined and set us up for a good 4 years of high school.
So how many on the team came up through Coach Bennett's middle school program?
Oh, shoot. I think there's most of the seniors have come up through Coach Bennett's program besides Ma, and I think that's it.
So it's really important for the team to have the younger players have that experience and good coaching coming out. By the time you got to high school, it wasn't that much of a stretch, right? So why don't you talk about this season a little bit? You're playing what position are you playing again?
Defensive end.
Thank you. It's one of those days. So defensive end, you guys, the defense is playing terrific. Very few touchdowns this year. Almost kept Dedham out of the end zone again and pitched another shutout, which would have been the third shutout this season. Can you talk about the line play? And you had a couple of sacks too. Maybe you can tell us how that came up.
Yeah, the line, the pressure on the QB has been really great this season. We've been getting in there almost every play. Most of the times he just throws away right before, but we've had consistent pressure on the QB. Yeah, the sacks just come. You just got to get that one play where you just get right around him, and then you'll have somebody come on the backside. QB won't see him, and it's just the combination of everything coming together that allows the sack to happen.
So you remember the Bellingham game last season, right?
Oh, yeah. I couldn't forget it.
So you guys got a little chip on the shoulder for this one, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I forget the score, and I probably should intentionally forget the score, but it was a big run up on their part. This year, how are we practicing? Are the guys ready for them? And, particularly the D-line, there's a lot of offense by them in the last game. How have you guys been game planning and preparing for it this week?
Their line's definitely a little bigger, a little bit slower, so we've really been practicing getting off the line, getting off the ball, getting our quicks down, our swims and rips, just to be able to get to that QB like always.
So any final thoughts as we wrap up this segment?
No, we just got to keep our heads down, work hard, and beat Bellingham.
So the crowd helping out too?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, hearing your name called from the sideline, there's no better feeling.
Kind of gets you up and gives you a little extra energy. So going back to the 12th man, if you can't, hopefully you can watch the game on Dover Sherburne Cable TV. If you can't watch it live, it'd be better if you showed up in person out in Bellingham. It's a little bit of a trip, but it's been a number of years since we've had a team this good, and it looks like they're going to end up with a very strong first half of the season if we can come out 5-0. So again, if you can make the trip to Bellingham High School Friday night, 6:30. Thanks for joining us. Hi, my name is George Webb, president of the Dover Sherburne Gridiron Club that supports the Dover Sherburne Raiders football team. We'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Conrad's Restaurants. Conrad's is sponsoring the Coach's Corner on a weekly basis. It has 4 locations in Norwood, Walpole, Foxborough, and Sudbury. We'd like to thank you again for sponsoring Raider football. And to our viewers out there, please stop by and frequent Conrad's at your nearest location. My name is George Webb, and I'm here with one of our players, Aiden Hirsch, and I thought, Aiden, maybe you can tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
I'm a senior, started playing football in 7th grade. I play outside linebacker and occasionally slot on offense.
So, had a good game last week. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Dedham game, what came together for you, and how the team responded to the challenge?
The Dedham game was great. I could see people getting fired up on the sidelines. The line brought great pressure off the offense on the quarterback, and our offensive line kept Dan clean. And we hit some nice deep shots down the sideline. Great game overall.
Any thoughts for Bellingham? We were just talking about that, kind of a tough loss last year. I know the team is motivated this year to maybe get a leg up on them and take back a little bit. Any thoughts on how the team's been preparing?
Our only loss last year, we're fired up against Bellingham. We want revenge, and we want to beat Bellingham bad.
Anything the guys are doing in particular? I know you've been practicing out here in the rain. Junior varsity's been doing extra time to make sure that they're ready to go. So hopefully we get a chance to get them on both varsity and JV. But any additional thoughts you have?
The scout offense and scout defense have been great this week. Been a great competition. Getting the starters better. And it's great so far.
Can you talk about that a little bit? We haven't really spoken about scout offense and scout defense. How important that to the starting squads to have really good Scully, what we call them, Scullo, working against them?
The looks they give us can be very close to the teams we're actually playing. So being able to go up against that in practice makes it so much better. It's like preparing for the team. It just is great.
So you recognize what's coming up to the line, right? So,
like they'll run the same plays, same formation. You get familiar. You're able to read it ahead of time the week beforehand.
So if you can anticipate the play and read it, you can react a little quicker.
Exactly.
Is that it?
Yep.
And that makes a big difference. You get a half a second or a natural reaction versus a mental check down. Trying to figure it out, it can make a big difference in a play, right?
Yep.
So thanks for shouting out and it's mostly the JV squad that's helping the varsity team play sharp. So those guys have had a good week in getting you guys ready. All right. Thanks again for joining us, Aiden, and good luck, and hopefully you guys are ready to roll. I know you will be. We've been working with you guys all week on it. Again, Bellingham versus Dover at Bellingham Friday at 6:30. Please turn out. Thanks for joining us. My name is George Webb.